You are watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Click on the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's geek it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Super Wildcard Weekend picks, the NFL playoff bracket, an update on sports, and more. All this with my little brother, Alex PH. What's up, bro? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's
All
go.
right,
Let's get
bro,
into it.
let's rock it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So getting into my picks. So for Super Wild Card Weekend, here is who I got on the spread. I am taking Bills -10 over the Steelers. They're going to be whooping that ass in Buffalo. I believe the Bills will put up, it'll probably be a 2-touchdown game. As much respect as I got for Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, not having TJ Watt there is a big loss. And I genuinely believe the Bills are just a better team. At least they have a better quarterback. And if they play James Cook the way they should play him, and if Stephon Diggs is somewhat what he used to be, at least in the playoffs, I think the Bills are going to put up a big score against the Steelers. Um, I'm taking Kansas City -4.5 against Miami. I don't I don't see how my little brother is taking Miami against Kansas. Uh
Miami is just they got it. They got it down. They got it
I,
down.
I don't think so, bro. I'm honestly, I think Kansas City is just gonna whoop that ass, and it'll be by at least a touchdown. I think it'll definitely be by more than 4.5 points. It'll be by 5, by a touchdown, maybe 6, maybe 2, field goal. But I'm taking Kansas City -4.5, and then I'm taking Detroit -3.5 or -3 over the Rams. Yeah, just the alertness that they have right now.
I don't agree with.
Yeah, they're going into the playoffs at with the mindset that anything can happen. Who did you have in that game? You had the Rams? No, you had
No, I
you
had Detroit. I had Detroit. I agreed with you. Yeah, Detroit.
eh, so yeah, no, I'm taking again Bills -10 over the Steelers, Kansas City -4.5 over Miami, and Detroit -3 over the Rams. And that is my spread picks. Moving on to the money line. Look, I'm taking the Cowboys to beat the Packers, but I don't think they're going to beat the Packers by 7.5 points or by 7 points. I'm sorry. That's what they think the Cowboys are going to beat the Packers by 7 points. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. I think there's a lot on the line for both teams. I think it's going to be an emotional game for both
Uh,
teams. I think so. At least
I think there's a lot for the on the line for the Cowboys, not the Packers.
exactly. There's a lot on the line for the Cowboys and the Packers with the history that Mike McCarthy has with the franchise and everything. And again, it's the playoffs, so these teams that they're facing aren't scrubs anymore. I honestly believe the Cowboys win, but they don't win by 7 points. They win by like 5. They win by like a field goal, like the Detroit game or whatever. But I don't see them putting up more than a touchdown on the Packers. I could be wrong. I hear a lot of the national media saying, yeah, take the points, take the Cowboys and all this. Um, I believe the Cowboys are going to win. I just don't believe they're going to win by more than a touchdown. So yeah, take the Cowboys. Take the Cowboys on the money line, and then my two upsets, ladies and gentlemen. I got to take the Texans +2 over the Cleveland Browns. I genuinely believe C.J. Stroud is a difference maker, and I know that in the playoffs, interceptions and turnovers they kill a team. And Joe Flacco, leading up to the playoffs, he's been a turnover machine. And in the playoffs, you can't do stuff like that, especially when the level of intensity steps up. Granted, there is a chance that we see playoff Flacco of old, who we haven't seen in like a decade. And he'll be clean throughout the playoffs and everything, but because we haven't seen him in that long, and what we have seen is him consistently turn the ball over, I think that's going to come back and bite him against CJ Stroud and the Texans in the first round. And then I'm taking Bucks +3 over the Eagles. Like, bro, they've lost 6 out of their last 7 games, plus the news today about Sirianni being on the chopping block, especially now that Belichick is available. Like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, I don't know, man.
See, the thing is though, like
I see the
I,
Eagles.
I see I see the Eagles being okay if they have a good OC. I think Sirianni's
Yeah,
not a great play caller or whatever, but I think if they have a good OC,
one that they
they
have
could
right
do
now.
real damage. Huh?
So, the play caller that they have right now isn't a good play caller either. So now this
I've
is
been telling you that. You have not agreed with me with that. But I've been telling you that.
What? Not Nick Sirianni, because Nick Sirianni doesn't call plays. They're offensive
I know,
coordinator.
I know. I told you, but I told you their OC has been bad. I've been telling you
I
this.
agreed with you. I said their play caller has been bad, and I
No,
said
no, no,
look
no,
at
no, no.
he
I
look,
very
he
explicitly
can call
remember you
plays.
saying like, "Oh my gosh, it's Jalen Hurts' fault. You see all the talent that's on his team. It's his fault. He has to be better." But I've
Oh,
been
I
telling
did.
you,
You know why I was saying that? Because
it's the
of
OC,
everything. No, no, no. Because of everything that I was hearing coming out against like Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts, when Brock Purdy has clearly been the better quarterback with his talent around him than Jalen Hurts has been. And granted, part of the reason what has been Jalen Hurts' play callers and play calling. But at the same time, if you have that much talent, like if I'm hearing the criticism on Brock because of the talent, why isn't there the same criticism on Jalen Hurts, who's lost 6 out of the last 7 games? And granted, some of their players haven't been injured, but they have a better offensive line than the Niners. Don't act like they don't. They have two
bro,
potential Hall of
bro,
Famers on there. Come on.
bro,
Don't even get me started.
bro,
Don't even get me started. Hey, you're a
bro.
Brock.
The
I don't know why.
Eagles
You got Brock
with a
as the
good
number one quarterback
OC
in the NFC. Who's the
are
number one quarterback
great.
in the NFL right now? Aside
Best quarterback in the NFL right now
best top three NFL quarterbacks right now. Because I know Brock isn't in there. Brock has to be in there
this year,
this year. Brock
based
isn't
on just play and performance.
based on play and performance. Brock
Lamar,
isn't. Lamar's obviously number one. I said top
yeah,
three.
Lamar, Dak.
Dak
I'm
is
kidding.
three. Don't
I'm
even
kidding.
put
I'm
you
kidding.
put Dak you put Dak as the
It was
second
a
best
joke. Yeah,
quarterback
I'm
in the
kidding.
NFC. Come
I'm
on.
kidding. Hey, yeah, we'll go Lamar, Brock, Dak.
There you go. Um, there you go. So that's
I
why
mean, I put Pat in there, but
that's the third
this,
best quarterback in the league right now. If not,
yeah,
this is
I'll do Lamar,
just
Pat,
talent.
Brock, out of respect for Pat.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my NFL Super Wildcard Weekend picks. Just remember, Bills -10 over the Steelers. The Detroit Lions -3 over the Rams. Uh, Kansas City -4.5 over Miami, and then take the Cowboys on the money line, and then take my two upsets, which were Tampa over the Eagles and the CJ Stroud led Texans over the Joe Flacco led Browns. I had a winning week last week. I was 6-1 with my picks. If you bet them the way I told you to bet them. And yeah, moving on, guys. So let's start off with the NFC bracket. Mainly because I'm assuming that we both more or less have the same bracket on both sides. And
Yeah,
everybody can probably already predict who we got making the NFC Championship game. What at least one of them. So, all right, bro. Number 2 seed Cowboys versus the number 7 seed Packers. Go. Who do you
I
got?
got Dallas for sure. I think Dallas has the star power. They got the experience. Jordan Love has been playing great, but that defense is good. They're playing at home too. So I take Dallas for sure.
Who's your second wild card pick, bro?
I'm gonna take Detroit over the Rams.
Okay, okay.
Rams are playing hot, but I like Detroit just because I feel like they've had a big culture change. So I'm gonna take Detroit over the Rams. Jared Goff scares me a little bit, but I think with the team they got, they could do it for
All
sure.
right. All right. So you got Cowboys head up against the Packers. You got Detroit head up against the Rams. And then what about Bucks Eagles?
That one, I'm gonna take the Bucks. Eagles have been struggling, and we still don't know. I'm pretty sure on AJ Brown, on their players if they're fully healthy. I think they're just not really a healthy team right now. Jalen Hurts got injured, so he's gonna be dealing with that finger, right? So I take Tampa. Baker's been playing good. He's got a good squad. White's been playing great. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin is there. That defense, is getting older, but I think they're still good. So I took out Tampa.
All right, all right, all right. So you got the number 1 Niners versus the number 4 Tampa in the divisional round. Who you got?
Well, that's I mean, come on now, that's obvious. That's the Niners. I mean,
There you
I
go.
mean Brock, they're coming off of what, 2 weeks bye basically. Brock's gonna come back healthy.
Older man.
George's gonna come back healthy. Trent's gonna come back healthy. All their players are gonna be healthy except for like Huff, right? But Eric is back. That's huge for the run. So
Jair Brown is coming back. That young man.
Yair Brown, Odom's coming back. I mean, we got a healthy team now, which is good.
Mhm.
Biggest thing though is Eric because he helps us out in the run a lot. Ever since he's
Back
been
to
out, our
practice.
run has been struggling.
He came back to practice today, I think.
Yeah.
Big news.
Today's Thursday, by the way.
The
So,
only downside is Drake Jackson. I didn't realize how that he got hurt this season. Because I'll be honest,
bro, Jake Jackson let us down. No. You could say it's injuries.
really quick. His career starting off a bit reminds me a bit of Javon.
Javon?
Yep.
No.
You don't think so?
Javon had way more injuries. Drake Jackson had a potential to be, the starter this year. He got thrown in the mix. Had a great first game.
He'll be back next year. I
No,
thought,
no, no, no.
hey, it's
Had a
okay.
great first game. How many sacks did he record for the season?
3. You got him
And
all.
what game did he get them all?
Yeah, I know. But it's
Yeah,
okay. It's okay. All right, moving on to the
that hurts.
Cowboys Detroit game. Who you got?
Uh, damn. I'm gonna take Dallas again, even though I hate it. But you know what? No. I'm gonna say Detroit. I'm gonna say Detroit. I
Ooh,
got Detroit just because
my boy.
I feel like they should have won the first one.
Right? Okay.
So I feel like, they got that passion, that aggression behind them if they see Dallas again, that, they're gonna take it to them this time, like, and they're gonna show that they should have won the first game. So I feel like Detroit is gonna come back hungry for that win. So then, yeah, I just don't, yeah, I don't see Dallas winning that one.
All right,
It'd
let's
be a
go.
good game though. It'd be a good game for sure. Yeah.
It's gonna be a great game. What
Yeah.
about number 1 versus number 3? You got the Niners versus Detroit.
We own, I think, this division. So like I think Detroit is good, but Niners going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. I'm not going to say like, oh my gosh, this and that, because I don't want to jinx it.
Oh,
But
I
we're
know.
winning.
I don't care about no jinxing. We can't be jinxed this year. I believe we cannot be jinxed this year. This is the
And
year.
I'm gonna knock on wood
Our
just for
year.
you.
Our year. I
No,
believe it. So you
no.
got Niners making the NFC or winning the NFC Championship game and making the Super
Okay.
Bowl. I like your picks, my
No.
guy. I ain't gonna lie. Uh, real talk. My bracket's the same. Like I
Yeah,
got
I know. I seen that actually. I was like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, my bracket's the same. I got what's it called? I got the Cowboys beating the Green Bay. I got Detroit beating the Rams. I got the Bucks beating the Eagles. Right now, the reason why I got and then I'm gonna go guys, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna give you guys my picks here in a minute with the point spread, the money line, and the upsets. But it's not really like a big major like wow that the Buccaneers Eagles game, especially how the Eagles are playing right now, and especially with the added pressure now that Nick Sirianni has with Bill Belichick being available, and the rumors already starting to come out from I'm assuming the Eagles front office that hey, if things don't go well this first round, Sirianni's going to be
Buddy,
fired.
you're out.
You're out. And honestly, Bill Belichick with that team already has an established quarterback, has an established offense. Like, don't tell me those pieces on the offensive side of the ball for the Eagles are scrubs because they're fine. It's the defense that's let them down this year. And Bill Belichick, what is he? One of the greatest defensive minds in the game.
Agreed. Mike Vrabel's would also be a great pickup.
Oh,
Just saying.
100%.
Yeah.
But we'll get into this discussion later. But Mike Vrabel's probably going to New England. I don't see them giving it to and
Yeah. He's got good connections.
dude, like, yeah, no. So that Eagles Bucks game is gonna be a good game to watch, but that's one of my upset picks. I'm taking the Bucks over the Eagles there, guys. Take the points, take the money line, take whatever you want to take. But yeah, the Bucks are beating the Eagles. I hate to say it, especially because Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield, but his coaching, it's just been abysmal this year. We
Mhm.
got Detroit beating the Rams. So actually, this game is actually very interesting, and I feel bad for the Rams because Detroit is coming into the playoffs with the sense of urgency and being pissed off. If that game against the Cowboys didn't go the way that it went, and
I don't know. I still take Detroit just because of Dan Campbell and the culture they got now.
they have
So
a great culture.
I
They
think
have a
Detroit
great
would have still won that game.
but my issue is honestly the fact that that game against the Cowboys really said a lot to me about the Detroit and just the fact that how they lost the game because if that game doesn't granted Mike McCarthy with his with his ridiculous play calling, blew that game for the Cowboys, and it was much closer than it would have been. And people like, oh, it doesn't matter. There was still 20 seconds left. I understand. But the last
Yeah.
time we saw Dak in 20 seconds, leading a game-winning drive, it was the Zeke getting destroyed, being the single offensive lineman. That was one of them. And then the other one was the year before where he let the time run out on him because he ran it up the field. So I don't care what anybody says. Detroit should have won that game against the Cowboys. And because they lost and because they were heading into the playoffs and now they know, like, they got a sense of urgency. That's the worst thing that could have happened to, that's the worst way. That's the worst thing that could have happened to the Detroit, to the Cowboys and the Rams, because Detroit's coming in there with a sense of urgency and they want to see the Cowboys. They want to go back to Dallas and they want to, and they're not going to let the Rams beat them. I'm sorry. Shout out to Jared Goff for getting his one up on the Rams since he's been in Detroit. And shout out to Matthew Stafford
Yeah.
going back to the city of Detroit. But
I don't know. I think honestly, thinking about it a little bit more now, I think that
it's
Rams
gonna be
Detroit game
close.
could kind of go like either way.
It's going to be close.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a toss.
it's a toss up game. It's a real
Yeah.
toss up game.
Yeah.
But I started to think about it a lot more. I started to go really into it. I like Detroit. I like Detroit's chances against the Rams, at least this year. At least this year going into the playoffs, especially with the way they're going into the playoffs. It'd be one thing if they were going into the playoffs, losing to the Cowboys and like actually losing by like a touchdown or whatever. They lost because of the refs. That's why they lost. And Mike McCarthy's play calling. So they're going in, they're pissed off, motivated, and they're not going to lose the first game. They might lose the second game, but not the first.
I think you meant Dan Campbell, not Mike McCarthy.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Green Bay, it's their first time in the playoffs with Jordan Love as the quarterback, and that's that's a young roster. Cowboys have
Hey,
been
but hey, that roster is gonna be good in the future.
oh,
So
and they're going to be great in the future, but I'm giving
yeah,
it to the Cowboys. Cowboys are
yeah,
going to
yeah, yeah.
win. And then obviously I got the Niners beating the
Niners.
Bucks. Great season for Baker. Baker, you're going to get paid somewhere between 35 to 45 million a year. Congratulations to you. You are probably going to re-sign with them for a 2 to 3 year deal. Um, and you'll be the quarterback there for at least a year or two more. Congratulations to you, kind sir, but you're not going to beat the Niners, especially not in San Francisco. And especially not with the offense and defense being the way that they are. I'm taking Detroit over the Cowboys because of the
Uh-huh.
whole incident that happened, and Detroit's going in there and they're going in there motivated to go and thrash the Cowboys. So
Uh,
that's gonna be a toss-up game, but I'm definitely taking Detroit. And last week I had Detroit losing, or one of my first episodes, I had Detroit losing to the Rams. I can't see that anymore happening, and it's mainly because of how the Detroit Lions are getting into the playoffs, and
they're
because
gonna play angry.
they're gonna play angry. And you know what happens after you play angry against a team that robbed you? Because they should be the number 2 seed. I don't care what anybody says. This is a game that Detroit should have had at their house, and they're going to Dallas for it. So because they're gonna go hard, go all out. And Dallas, when they play a good team, they get rocked. I don't care what anybody says, they get rocked. And when they played Detroit, they lost. My opinion, the refs gave it to them. Because out of that game, it's going to be a letdown game in the NFC Championship game. The entire city of Detroit's going to be like behind them. They're going to be so happy just because of how far they made it, that when they play us, it'll be more of a whoa kind of like moment, because
No, I think that game's still gonna be
I don't
close.
think it'll be close. I don't think
Aiden Hutchinson is good, so like
Aiden is great. Aiden is awesome.
like they got good players, good
They
DBs and
got
stuff, but
amazing
like
players,
that
but they're
team
going to be
is gonna be
emotional.
competitive.
Remember, after you have such an emotional game against like the division against the Cowboys, I think that's what happened to us after the Eagles. Remember, I think it was the Eagles. We thrashed the Eagles, and then we came back, and then we had the Brown. Was it the Browns or the Ravens? No, no, no. We beat the Cardinals, and then it was the Ravens. But I don't know. I just think I think it was the Cowboys. After we beat the Cowboys, that was an emotional game. We beat the Cowboys, and we went on a 3 game losing streak. So that's the only reason why.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I guess.
so yeah, taking Niners, NFC champions, going to the Super Bowl, obviously. let's transition to the AFC guys. AFC playoff bracket. Let's go.
Okay. I got the Bills or the Steelers just because I mean Bills, Josh Allen, Steelers are great, but their quarterback's gonna let them down. That Bills defense is gonna be good. TJ Watt's not playing either, so Bills. KC over Dolphins. I got Dolphins.
You got
Um,
Dolphins. Really?
yeah,
In sub-degree weather. Okay.
yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
only reason I got the Dolphins is because Kansas City has problems with their offense. So I feel like that's gonna be a big factor. I feel like receivers are definitely gonna drop balls. There's probably gonna be a pick by Patrick Mahomes. So I think for the most part, I know they lost Bradley Chubb right now, right? But I think that Dolphins team can still pull out the win against KC in the negative degree weather.
You okay? So do you think that offense can put up more than 20 points? That's the only question I got.
Yes, the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In sub-zero temperatures with snow. I believe it's gonna snow that day too.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, I'm not taking
Oh
away
yeah, it's
anything
gonna be
away. You know what? I'll say they
okay.
may score 19.
But you think the Dolphins are gonna win the game?
Dolphins are probably winning the game. I mean, Kansas City's defense is great,
Okay.
but like, Jalen Waddle, they got Tyreek, Raheem, they got some speed.
Okay. Okay.
So I,
Let's
I got
go.
Dolphins.
Who do you got? Number 4 Texans versus the Cleveland Browns, number 5 seed.
I got Browns. Texans are good. I love CJ Stroud. Don't get me wrong. I love CJ Stroud. But the Browns defense is just too good, I think. Miles Garrett is a dog. Okay, they got good DBs. I think they also have a rookie DB that's been phenomenal for them. So like I think
I mean, Singletary? No.
hmm?
No, he's not a rookie. He's a second year. Singletary.
I don't know if he's a rookie or not, but I know one of
He's
these
like a
DBs
second
on
year
that team
player.
is
I think he was
crazy.
drafted last year, but he's crazy. He's a great DB.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like that's why I got the Browns, just because Texans are good, but the defense in the playoffs, the intensity is different. It's gonna be CJ's first playoff game. So I mean, I'm not gonna say he's gonna play bad, but he just won't play good enough for them to win, I think. And his receivers are injured, like his, star receivers, I'd say, right? So I just don't see that team pulling off the win against the Browns because they're really good defensively. The Browns are really good defensively. Joe Flacco is going to be great this game, I think. He may throw one pick at least, but he's going to throw at least two touchdowns for sure. And, Kareem's probably going to do something on the run too. So I got
Okay.
the Browns.
So you got Ravens Dolphins in the divisional round. Who you got?
I'm gonna take the Ravens. Yeah, that's kind of easy, I think. Ravens is self-explanatory. Defense has been historically great. Flashbacks to not Ray Lewis, but that defense kind of.
They've been great.
Rokon Smith and what's his name? The oh my gosh, it's going out of my head right now. But that linebacker duo was
Oh,
good.
Miles Garrett? Oh wait, no,
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 no, Rokon
no.
Smith and
Roquan Smith.
um I forget the other linebacker, but you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. It's skipping my
It,
mind.
the duo is great. It has to be, I think in my opinion, I might be a little biased, but Fred and Dre Greenlaw, to me are the best,
Let's do it.
linebacker duo.
I know. Yeah, I
I might be
understand.
biased, but
It's
if I had to choose another duo, I'm gonna choose the Ravens, linebackers, because they're great. They're like the life of that defense. They're phenomenal at taking the ball away. They got the triple crown for sacks, interceptions, and I think touchdowns. I think.
all right, yeah, that's a
Um,
great defense, and
so
then
that's a good defense, yeah. And then Lamar's been playing great. I know Mark Andrews isn't playing, but they got Dalvin Cook too. Big signing for them, I think. Dalvin Cook, wasn't really producing with the Jets, so I think the Ravens, signing him was huge, and he'll produce for them in the playoffs. So I got the Ravens for sure.
all
And
right,
then the Bills
Browns.
or Browns, right, right, right. Bills and Browns, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I got the Bills here. Um, you know what? No, let me switch it up. Let me switch it up. I got the Browns here. I'm gonna
Got
go
the
for the
Browns.
Browns.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for the Browns here, the underdogs, okay? I got the Browns for the sole reason that I don't trust Josh Allen. especially when he's up against a good defense. I feel like he's gonna turn the ball over a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And that in the playoffs kills you. Turnovers kill you. So I got the Browns winning this game. I know Joe Flacco turns the ball over a little bit too.
A lot. A
Yeah. Yeah.
lot.
But I think I got more trust in Joe than Josh, even though Josh is a lot more mobile.
Yo, I
Yeah,
hear you, bro.
he may prove me wrong. I'm not gonna lie. The Josh Allen might pull out like 5 touchdowns in the game. I don't know, but I doubt it against the Browns.
Yeah,
But
no, I agree, bro. Yeah, you just don't know what to expect from Josh Allen, especially in the playoffs.
mm,
It's like there was one year he was crazy, and then after that, like, granted, his numbers are still historically high, but like we've seen the games, ladies and gentlemen. Like he hasn't been the same guy he was during that one playoff run that helped his numbers get to the to where they are right now.
yeah,
But you got the Ravens and Browns in the AFC Championship game. That was my pick. That was my bracket last week. All right. So who you got? Ravens, Browns, my guy.
no, I got the Ravens. I think it's gonna be a Ravens Niners Super Bowl rematch. So I got the Ravens in this one. I think Ravens are just a better team. Yeah,
Okay.
just simple as that. Yeah, and then Ravens Niners. We'll see where that one takes us one day.
All all right. Well, actually, who's your who? So who do you got winning the Super Bowl? I'm assuming it's the Niners because we're both Niner fans. So
Look,
be honest, or
if
actually, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? That's your who's your
if
Super Bowl pick as of
if
right
if
now?
the Ravens would have lost to us when they played us, I would have said the Ravens.
Oh, really?
But since we lost to the Ravens, I'm gonna say the Niners
Okay.
for the
Okay.
sole reason that,
Second
we're
year
gonna play with
average.
more intensity. We're gonna play, a lot I think a lot smarter. We're gonna play with like, okay, these guys whooped our ass. These
Mhm.
guys beat us. We gotta show some pride. So,
Hey,
Fred gonna go out there, get us a pick.
you know that I believe our kryptonite is a more agile moving quarterback. That's
I
our
know,
kryptonite. I
I know.
I
But you know
said it
who's
about
gonna show up
Kyler.
for us? Nick Bosa and Fred Warner gonna whoop that ass. Okay, trust me.
Hey, no, Mike
I
Green gonna be
believe.
to help whoop that ass. Shoot.
No. See, we'll be good. We'll be good. I'm telling you. Hold on. Fred Warner reminds me of this guy. Okay. Okay, hold on.
See, ladies and gentlemen, who he brings. Oh, yep.
Did
Will,
I?
I see it. I see it.
Did
I
I?
see it. That
That's who he reminds me of. Okay.
that great. I know I know what you're talking about. Hey, you see, there was a highlight video, I think it was last week, where he was it was either last week or 2 weeks ago, where I guess they were against I forget who they played. I think it was Washington. And Fred came in from like the other side of the field and fucking speared the dude fucking in the air. I don't know if you saw that. That was fucking
I think that was last year, but it was against the Rams. He had a play
damn.
where he just flew. Yeah, I think it was against the Rams. Maybe you're talking about one this year that happened,
I
but
don't
I
know.
saw one
Yo,
last year that
Fred,
he
bro,
just
that dude's consistently fucking great.
I
Fred,
think I think he's fallen. He's like had a little like setback this year in tackling because he's missed a ton of tackles. Like when you watch the game, he runs too fast and he just misses the guy or something like that. But
yeah,
like, he's gonna show up in the playoffs. I think he'll get it down. So
who
I think
knows?
we'll be good. Ward has been playing great. So yeah, well deserved Pro Bowler this year. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
Travis Ford, fuck yeah. All right, so let me give you my AFC Championship bracket. Let's see, where I'm taking the Bills over the Steelers by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Bills gonna whoop that ass. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I love Mike Tomlin. I love that Steelers culture, the mantra that they have over there. But TJ Watt's out. Josh gonna be cooking. I'm taking Kansas over the Dolphins. Main reason why I'm taking the Chiefs over the Dolphins is because of the fact that I don't believe in Tua in cold weather. I believe more in the Kansas City Chiefs defense, and I believe the Kansas City Chiefs, especially with home field advantage at Arrowhead, because we know Arrowhead gets loud. That it's going to be hard for Tua to hear. Plus, it's also going to be hard for Tua to see over that defensive line. And the corners, I'm like we can't act like Chiefs corners are scrubs. Willie Snead, he's Willie Snead and Trent McDuffie, both of them great. Wait, no, not Willie Snead. Is it Willie Snead? I think it's Willie
I
Snead.
don't think it's Willie Snead. I think Willie Snead is a receiver, is he not?
No, let me check real
Or
quick.
maybe I'm talking about a different like
There's a
Snead.
different Snead. Snead in Kansas City. Oh, L'Jarius Sneed. My bad.
Yeah,
L'Jarius
I think Willie Seed was the
Willie Snead
receiver.
was our receiver on the Niners. I'm sorry. I get the Sneeds confused. But L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie are both fucking great. I don't care what anybody says. They are great cornerbacks. That defensive line is great, and then Tua's gonna have issues communicating with his offense.
I think, no, I think Mike McDaniel's gonna play call
I don't think so. I'm sorry.
very well.
No.
He's a
We
baby
did it last
Kyle.
week. We didn't see it last week against the Bills when they had to win. Come on. No.
He's a
I'm
baby
sorry. And
Kyle.
they were in Miami. And they were in Miami. No. Kansas City is gonna go to the Dolphins. They're gonna whoop that ass, or they're gonna host the Dolphins. They're gonna whoop that ass and send them home. Uh Patrick Mahomes is historically great, and so is Andy Reid. They're not gonna lose wild card weekend. Historically great,
Uh, I don't know.
historically greats do not lose during wild card weekend. They don't.
Only time will tell. This Sunday
I'm just saying. I'm
or
taking
this Saturday,
so
whenever
listen to
they
this.
play.
I am taking the Texans over the Browns because um that Texans team,
I
uh,
don't think you're accounting for the injuries offensively that they have.
I don't care. The reason
CJ
why
CJ Stroud is good, but he's,
CJ Stroud is
he
great,
has
but you know
limits.
what I looked at?
He has limits.
So with CJ Stroud not playing, the Davis Mills only had 165 passing yards. Joe Flacco threw 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I think the defense is going to step up after giving up 36 points. They're gonna
Mm,
step up. I believe they're gonna step up. They have a great linebacker in Will
no.
Anderson. They have a great cornerback in Singletary. Or not Singletary.
You know what I was gonna say? I think
Stingley.
D'Amico.
Stingley, my bad. Stingley's a great cornerback, not
Oh,
Singletary.
Derek Stingley. Yeah.
Derek Stingley's a
I was gonna say though, I think D'Amico is just,
Miko's a great defensive mind. He had a bad
but
week.
no, I just think he's great at finding linebackers. Like
Well, he was a
he's
sophomore
just
linebacker.
phenomenal at developing them. Like, have
Yeah.
you seen an interview he did with Fred did or something like that, where he said like a huge part of his development was like D'Amico really instilling that leadership or that confidence in him to go out there and like, just be a dog. Like D'Amico is just, phenomenal. I think developing just talent like linebackers.
100%. Honestly, like considering that Joe threw 2 picks the last game, they only lost by 2 touchdowns. I
Mm.
honestly think CJ Stroud is good enough to make up that difference, especially
Uh,
if the defense steps up. Because come
if
on,
if
Davis
the
Mills,
Texans
bro,
defense can take but that Browns defense
Davis
is
Mills, bro.
better.
They used Davis Mills and they got through. They got through. I think it was 2 picks. They let up 3 touchdowns. They still can't let Joe Flacco go for 3 touchdowns. They have tape on Joe Flacco against them now, so that's part of the reason why. Like now that they have tape against Joe Flacco against them, um, and Joe Flacco, one thing's for sure, he's consistently thrown interceptions, and in the playoffs, that comes back and it bites you. It really does. Moving on to Ravens Texans. I'm taking the Ravens. Texans are just going to be so happy that they got their first playoff win under CJ Stroud. That's going to be a little bit of an emotional letdown. And I also think Lamar Jackson, being the more experienced quarterback, having the more experienced head coach, having the more experienced players,
Well, he's not really the more experienced,
more experienced
technically.
everything.
Maybe in games played, but
And
winning
bro,
games, he hasn't,
when you're a unanimous, gonna be a 2-time unanimous MVP like Lamar
But I'm
Jackson,
saying like,
bro.
experience in
It's no
terms of
competition.
winning
I
games,
don't
like he's
care.
not
Yes, he
that
is. Oh, are
good.
you kidding me? He
You
wins like
know?
75% of his games.
I'm saying in the playoffs.
Bro, that doesn't. Oh my God.
How
Again,
does that not matter?
again, it
That
doesn't
matter.
matter because you're going up against a lesser experienced quarterback in the playoffs. I'm just saying. All right.
I'm just saying.
Ravens are gonna whoop that Texans ass, I'm picking. And I had the Browns against the Ravens in the AFC Championship game,
I do too.
but I changed
Oh,
it.
with the
I
Browns,
changed
my
it.
bad.
I changed it. I changed it with the Rave. I had the Browns in the Super Bowl. Okay,
No, no, that's too much.
I had him in the Super Bowl, but I had to change it because of the fact that the Ravens actually, not the Ravens, the Texans are just going to the playoffs in a much better position, in my personal opinion,
Mm.
especially because Denzel Ward just got hurt and messed up his knee, and we don't even know if he's going to play this weekend. Moving on to the Bills versus the Chiefs. I'm taking the Bills. And again, this is going to be a game that the Bills show up, turn out. It's going to be an emotional game because it's going to be in Buffalo. And the Bills, because they have never been able to overcome the Chiefs when it matters in the playoffs, are going to finally be able to do it in the divisional round this year when Kansas City is reeling. And I believe the Bills are going to finally make the AFC Championship game and beat their vaunted rival, the Chiefs, only to lose to the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. Emotional letdown. Josh Allen is finally going to become Josh Allen again, especially, or not become Josh Allen again. Josh Allen is going to show who he really is with the turnovers, with the mistakes, when he gets pressured. And that's going to happen with that Baltimore Ravens defense. So I am taking the Baltimore Ravens to become AFC champions, and I am taking the Niners to beat Baltimore in the rematch. Because I think our team is still traumatized from the way that they recently lost, and hopefully we get better offensive line play, and we just pound the ball from the beginning to end, because when we pound the ball in important games, we win. When we go away from that, even if we're down by a touchdown or maybe two, we lose. One thing I can always guarantee on is like our run game wearing down a defense and then opening up the pass game. But when we try to do the reverse, it never works. It just doesn't work for our offense, at least with Kyle Shanahan. So yeah,
Yeah,
that,
I guess.
yeah, that's our NFL playoff bracket, guys. I hope you enjoyed this segment. So, an update on sports, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Vrabel got fired, my guy, and then shortly after that, Bill Belichick and the Patriots parted ways.
And and we lost two legends on the same day, okay? We lost Saban as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's crazy.
Well, I think Saban retired yesterday, but actually,
But
no.
it was within 24 hours.
Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll.
It was within
Carroll.
24 hours, okay? So
No, no,
Bill
no.
Belichick
Fact.
and Saban.
But no, you were right though. Two legends did like get moved on off of, because I consider Pete Carroll a legend. He won a Super Bowl.
For Seattle, yeah, I mean, but he's not out of Seattle. He's just out as head coach. Like he's still an advisor for the team.
Wanted to be the head coach of Seattle. He's going to try to be the head coach again someplace else. Now, because
No,
Saban's
he's
gone,
he's
hold
just
on.
the advisor.
What?
He's done coaching.
No, he's not done coaching. He didn't want to stop. Did you not watch the interview yesterday that he
What are you
gave?
talking about? I thought he's just the advisor for
No,
Seattle.
dude. They told him you will not coach this team next year. He wanted to coach the team next year. They said you will not coach the team. If you want to be a part of this organization, you can move into an advisory role. Pete Carroll did not want to stop coaching the Seattle Seahawks. That is not true.
Well, now he's an advisor. So deal with it.
So where is he going to end up? Because
He's
now
gonna
that
stay his ass in
no, he's
Seattle.
not going
It's
to stay in
fine.
Seattle.
It's
Because
fine.
I could
It's
see Pete
fine.
Carroll going back
He's
to
not.
college.
No,
You don't think so? Bro,
no.
Nick Saban's gone. Alabama, like that's my hot take for the day. Alabama going for Pete Carroll, who's a proven
Pete
NFL.
Carroll's not going to Alabama.
I wouldn't be
Sweet
surprised.
home
I
Alabama.
wouldn't be
No,
surprised. That's my hot
no.
take. That's my hot take. Pete Carroll to Alabama. But yeah, Seattle moving on from Pete Carroll after this year. I'm kind of surprised. But I guess like because they were like, okay, you had a good year with Gino, you didn't take a step forward, and you made us pay Gino all this money, and he's clearly not the guy, especially when the backup looks like he's been playing better recently. Um, I think just that franchise needed like a change in pace and environment, and I feel bad for Pete. But where do you think Pete's going to go?
I
As
just said I just don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's staying in Seattle.
so you don't even think he'll go after a defensive coordinator role at another team?
Dude, no,
He doesn't
no.
want
If
to.
it's not a head coaching role, he probably won't take it. But I still think he's gonna stay in Seattle. I think Belichick probably goes somewhere else though.
Where do you
I
think
think
Belichick
Saban
goes?
is well, Saban's done. I think he said for his daughter, right? But
Yeah.
Belichick is probably going to like um I could see if the Chargers don't get Harbaugh, which I'm hoping they go for Harbaugh, I could see Belichick going to the Chargers.
Oh, Antonio Pierce actually, the Titans asked to interview him, and I would love that for Antonio Pierce. I would love him to go to the Titans.
No,
My
he's
personal,
a Raider.
no. He,
Mike Vrabel, though, I think
I-
Vrabel, well, he's probably going to the Patriots because he's got connections there. But I think he's also a great fit for the Chargers too, because he's a defensive coach
they
who
don't need
hasn't.
a defensive coach. Justin Herbert needs an offensive head
But
coach.
listen to me.
He needs an
He's
offensive.
a coach
We're gonna
who,
waste Justin
despite being a
Herbert's
defensive
time.
coach,
Hold on.
can
We're
you
gonna
listen?
waste
Can you
Justin.
shut up? Can you just shut up? Sit there like a good little girl, okay? Just listen really
Boy,
quick.
nah, hell no.
Just listen
No,
really
no, no,
quick.
no, 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 no.
Just listen
Justin
really
Herbert,
quick.
no, fuck no, hell no. Justin Herbert, bro, needs in his prime at least one offensive minded head coach. Don't you think?
Okay, but listen, Mike Vrabel, good defensive head coach. When they had AJ Brown, Ryan Tannehill, they went to the playoffs every year. They were competitive. They did great. He's never had a good quarterback like Justin Herbert.
I
Ryan
don't,
Tannehill is good, but he's not no Jay Herbo. He's
but
he's
no, Mike.
different.
Okay, you gotta also take into the account who's in that division or in that in that division.
It
Frankly,
don't matter.
it
They got
matters
talent
so
all
much.
around
It matters so much, and they were still the last team in that division with all that talent all around.
because they had a bad coach.
Okay, they had a bad coach, and Mike
Vrabel is a
Vrabel
good coach.
deserves an easy division. He deserves the NFC East. That's where I think it's a much easier division. I
Okay.
personally
Well,
think
we'll see. We'll see. I think Harbaugh should be the number one option though for the Chargers, and then Vrabel could be number two. But
Harbaugh should be
Vrabel
the
is probably
number
going to the
one
Patriots.
option for the Chargers and for the Raiders. That's the only two places that he should be the number one option. Antonio Pierce, I would love it if he gets that job in Tennessee. I think Steve Wilkes actually got who was it? I think it was who was it? I think the Titans also requested to interview Steve Wilkes, or there was another team. I saw it earlier this week, but Steve Wilkes is also in line for a head coaching job. Honestly, I would
Mhm.
if Steve Wilkes doesn't come back as the head coach of the or as the defensive coordinator for the Niners next year, I would love to see Ron Rivera as our DC. He's not done coaching either.
All right,
I I love to see Ron Rivera as our DC. We play the same scheme. He
yeah,
runs a
I
4-3.
guess.
We have a 4-3. Like with the pieces that we have, I think he'd be an excellent defensive coordinator for us if Steve Wilk gets an opportunity as a head coach, which I honestly think he deserves after what he did with Carolina last year. We got lucky that we got
Yeah.
DC.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe. I think so too, to be honest, probably.
and then Mike Tomlin might actually take some time off after the Steelers potentially lose this week.
I think it's well deserved. I think
1 year
he's
off
done a
wouldn't
lot.
be a bad idea, and then he
He's done
gets
a
what
lot.
he wants.
Yeah, he's done a lot for the Steelers, and I think maybe just a fresh restart would be good for them.
That's going to be a hot commodity, especially wherever he ends up.
For
All
real.
right, let's move on to an update on the NBA, ladies and gentlemen. So the Heat renewed Spo's contract for 8 years, 120 million, deservedly, in my opinion.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. I don't care if he
One
had
of the one of the greatest NBA coaches, I think, ever.
oh,
So
if he had a top five NBA, like, if he had a top 10, I don't care. I don't see Jimmy Butler in the top 10 of the
in
NBA.
the playoffs, he is top 10.
Okay, but that's because the
That's
playoffs is
Jimmy Buckets, okay? That's Jimmy
so much
Buckets.
more. It's so limited. It's a smaller group of people in the playoffs. But in the regular season, I just don't see Jimmy Buckets as a top 10 player. I
I
don't.
don't
He doesn't
either.
have a top 10 player on the roster. Period. And he still gets them to the NBA Finals. That's shout out to you, Eric Spoelstra. You deserve that 8 year, $120 million contract. And hopefully, Pat, you got to land him some fucking buddy, bro. Cause y'all's
I'll say this: the Heat are notorious at finding gems in the draft. Like
oh yeah.
Jamie Jaquez was drafted
Tyler Hero, I don't care what
before.
anybody says. He was not a bust. He's a decent player.
Tyler Hero was a great offensive player, but
Great.
Jamie Jaquez this year, the rookie they got this year, I think he should be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year too, just because he's been playing good, like he's been playing consistently well. So I feel like he should be in the conversation just because he is that good. Like the Heat are good, he's good, they're playing well. Jimmy Butler's not even playing right now, and they're still being competitive, with a positive record. So.
Yeah, no facts. And then let's see. Jonathan Kaminga leaked to Shams that he's lost faith in Steve Kerr. Uh yeah, I
Bro,
don't Him and
irrelevant.
Curry. And hold on, Curry acknowledging the fact that things are going to be shaken up. Bro, Jonathan Kuminga, I could see on the trade block, or I
I
could see.
don't.
You don't think
You
Jonathan?
gotta think about you gotta think about it like this.
This is the reason why you
No,
can't
you
come
gotta think
out
about
and
it like
say
this.
you
Hold
lose
on.
faith in the in your what is it four-time
No, no, no.
NBA champion head coach. Really?
You gotta think about it like this.
And I'm
Jonathan
a Jonathan
Kuminga
Kuminga fan. I like JK. I call him J.
Jonathan Kuminga is a
I call
great young player. He's a great young talent. Curry, Clay,
him.
Draymond, they're
Bro,
they're
he's the
they're
future
on
of
the
the
out. They're
Warriors.
on the way out.
He's the future, bro. Kaminga, Moses Moody. I like Moses Moody. I don't know why we're playing. I understand Pod's earned his minutes, but Moody's definitely earned his minutes. I don't care what anybody says. He balls. I like Moses Moody. Like it's just so frustrating. Like I understand where the frustration comes in, like trying to transition out or whatever, but it sucks because now that I honestly think now that Jonathan Kaminga came out with those like saying that shit, he's gonna be on the chopping block, and I don't want to
He's
see him.
not. He's
I don't
not,
want to.
bro. He's fine. He's fine. You're
So
overreacting.
I hope I
I'm
am.
not even a Warriors fan.
Yeah, I know. I hope he's the one piece right now. He's the one youthful piece right now, aside from Pod, who I genuinely believe is gonna lead this team in the future. And I just can't have him be gone. We already got rid of Wiseman. We already got rid of Poole. Like legitimately, bro, I genuinely thought like the guys that we had, if they had just stayed, and that's also another thing. Steve doesn't trust these guys. Steve doesn't trust these guys. And that sucks because I honestly think we'd be in a much better position if he would have just given them a little bit more trust, a little bit more playing time. And dude, everybody on that team could have been an all-star in my humble opinion. Like if Steve just but I don't know, man. I'm worried about the Warriors. I'd be interested to see because I who are they going to move in the
Look. I think for the Warriors, with CP3 gone is the bigger issue because he's what was giving you guys positive minutes with Steph out on the bench.
now we got Draymond.
Draymond coming back is gonna add value defensively, not positively with the bench players, but defensively, like you guys will be a little bit better just because Draymond is that vocal leader
Sub
for you
500
guys
right now.
defensively.
I'm not excited to see what happens. Like what's his face? Who's our new like the new president of the team? I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like we're a shooting team. We're one of the worst shooting teams in the league this year with Steph Curry. That's so sad.
Hey man, it's a new league, it's a new era, you know. A lot of it now is because of Steph Curry. All the shooting that you see is because of Steph. I think Mavs lead probably is Mavs or the Celtics, I think that either lead the league with threes. But hey, that's just the way the game is played now. So
Hey, yo, really quick, shout out to Kyrie Irving for staying out of the news and headlines. That hasn't been talked about enough. He plays for the I think he still plays for the Mavs. Uh
yeah,
yeah, he plays for the Mavs, but hey, he's been quiet, he's been grinding, he's been working, and good for you, Kyrie. You're on your grind.
there's
Stay
a
on.
there's a lot of slander, but he's great. No, don't get me wrong, he's great.
There you go. And then, yo, Raptors head coach or the Raptors coach fined $25,000 for his comments, bro. What's your take on that? He's not wrong, in my opinion.
Take it like a man. You know what I'm saying?
It's easy to
Nah, I'm not.
be a Laker fan.
Yeah, I'm not gonna complain. Hey, I saw the game. They were fouls. Hey, you win some and you lose some. LeBron didn't get called when Jason Tatum hit him last year on the arm. So hey man, you win some and you lose some. You gotta take them with a grain of salt or whatever, and move on to the next.
I don't know,
It
bro.
is what it is.
I don't know, bro. Like, especially like I love how like the way that he said his comments, man. I don't know if you watched there was a sports documentary on Netflix where I forget who the referee was, but it's public knowledge. Like, dude, the refs have like at least NBA refs, they hasn't come out on the NFL yet. But like yeah, they fix games to an extent with their play with their calls and stuff. So
I think
I'd be more interested
I think
actually now
that
that
I
I'm
think that happens. I think that happens in all sports though, like football, like NBA. It's fixed to like a point, like to a certain
so
extent.
now this is gonna be the crazy thing that I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna like for the NBA season or whatever, there's gonna be like one or two refs that I'm gonna pick out, and I'm gonna look at how they how the teams that they're refing do when they're refing, and then I'm gonna pick a game or two like that. and I'm gonna just see if I hit or if I found a formula or something. Yo, I gotta try something, ladies and gentlemen. NBA season. This is the first time I'm actually gonna be betting it. But it's gonna be an interesting go. It'll be an interesting go. But yeah, bro, any other news you want to share about the NBA or any other sports?
Not really. I think right now we're in a waiting period just because the trade deadline hasn't hit yet.
You think
So like
Darvin is gonna get fired?
no. And it's because Rob Pelinka likes him.
Okay.
And it's
It's not
something
because
that
of LeBron.
something that frustrates me about Darvin Ham is that he hasn't gone back to the lineup that we went to last year when we went on that final push to make it to the playoffs. I don't know why we're not going to it. It was a good lineup defensively,
Hey,
and
I
we're
hear a
struggling
lot of the
defensively.
players in that Laker locker room are upset with him because he's not making those type of moves, man. And he's limiting players like Austin Reeves, who's clearly earned his minutes.
Well, he's starting now, so
I hope so.
that's good. D'Lo's coming off the bench, which I think is better, but I don't know. The team's not healthy completely yet. Like Rui's been out for a couple games. Gabe Vincent hasn't played
Yeah.
since like the first two games.
No, so
So like
are we
it's
done? Are we
frustrating.
officially done with the LeBron James winning championships era?
No,
I think
because LeBron is still LeBron. Like if you watch him play, he may not
we're
play
done.
like Miami Bron or 2019 Bron with the Cavs. That
Can he
Bron
win
was
a
different.
championship?
But LeBron is still LeBron. He can still win a ring.
You know, what as a number two or three player?
He
Like
is the number one player. Psst.
LeBron is
AD probably has to be the number one player, but I think LeBron
AD
can
has
still
to
leave
leave.
as the number two.
AD has to be gone. Bring in somebody that can actually elevate LeBron's skill set.
Yeah, I think the LeBron's greatest teammate was Kyrie, just because that mixture of hit guard and big was
Perfect.
good. But yeah,
Kyrie's ego got in the way.
yeah, a little bit. But
So yeah,
okay.
lady. So what's up?
No. I was just saying, yeah, no, it was Kyrie's ego that got in the way.
Yeah, no.
Agreeing.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our updates on sports, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to empowering with positivity. Alex, you got anything positive you'd like to share? How are you doing mentally? Everything good?
Can't complain. Life goes on. Whatever happens, happens, and you just gotta find a way to navigate through it. So
Is that your advice? Just find a way to navigate through life. How do you do it actually?
I just don't think about it, to be honest. Like if it happens, and you just gotta, go over the obstacle. If you knew me in person, like Nelson could probably tell you, like I'm pretty laid back.
Really
So
bad.
like,
Way you're acting right now is how I get him 24/7, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, so like I don't really, I just kind of go with the flow. Yeah,
Yeah,
you just, what's the word? Pivot, adjust on the fly. You know, that's really it.
that's what's up, bro. Hey, I'm glad
Mhm.
to hear everything's good with you. So for me, empowering positivity, let's see. One of the pieces of advice that I'd like to give you folks is just keep your head up high, believe in yourself. And just always like my little brother, he just said he goes with the flow. But yo, real talk, dog, there's no doubt in your mind that you're not going to be successful, right? You know in your mind you're going to be successful, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take time. I mean, all good things in life, come with time, I think.
Yeah. And it's literally just that. Just believe in yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Have that self-confidence in yourself. And even if things aren't turning out the way that you think they should be turning out, uh, sometimes speaking it into existence is a thing. So speak it into existence in your mind and then slowly start working on those things to obtain those goals. Because hey, you'd be surprised with a little bit of hard work, a little bit of attention being given to something else, you'll be able to do incredible things.
Now,
Uh,
hold on now. Success for everyone is defined differently. So, you just got to figure out what success means to you and, find ways to get there. So, just saying, yeah.
So whatever success is to you guys, just remember, give up a little bit of a little bit of time of things that you shouldn't be doing and focus on that. You'll be a lot happier and the future's always bright. Just remember, guys, I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. And if nobody's tell it, I love you and I appreciate you guys. Announcements and updates, or just announcements now. ANA Radio crossover with Alex A later this week, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Legend of Korra, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and we'll go into the project coming out next, I believe next month in February. An interview with Johnny Beefcake. My guy Johnny Beef hops on the podcast, and we just talk about life in general and get an inside look. It'll be a more empowering with positivity type of episode. And then NFL wildcard recap, guys. We're gonna go over my picks. We're gonna see how I did, and then maybe my little brother will be back next week. Maybe he won't be. He might have things to do. But I'll try to at least have him on the Friday episode so he can give you guys his picks for that weekend. And just recap on the week. I appreciate. Hey, facts. Hey, hopefully. Hey, oh yeah, the bet, huh? We made a friendly bet. Again, I'm taking my. Hey, I believe.
I got the Browns.
I believe in the Texans. I got the Texans too. I got the Texans. You got the Browns. It'll be a fun game. I appreciate you guys for breaking down the NFL brackets with us. Our wild card, at least my wild card pickings, my wild card weekend picks are in for you guys. Just remember, I am taking the Bills -10 over the Steelers. I'm taking Kansas City 4.5 over Miami. I am taking Detroit -3 over the Rams. I'm taking Tampa and who's the other one? I'm taking Tampa and the Texans to upset, and then I'm taking the Cowboys on the money line. And then we are, ladies and gentlemen, we're done. I appreciate you guys for being here. Guys, please like, subscribe, comment on the video, share this with your friends, share this with your neighbors, share this with everybody you know. Make some money with my picks. If you don't bet sports, and you just like hearing about it, follow my podcast or just watch for some positivity. I'm always trying to give you guys some positive light, some positive news. You guys just watched the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. I appreciate you guys for being here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this content and you'll be coming back for more. Follow me at N1 from the End Zone for your latest sports news or my latest takes. Alex, I appreciate you for being here, bro. I love you. Dog, thank you. Thank you very much.
I love you, bro. Thank you very much. Yes, no, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, bro.